We have a 1,200 acre organic crop farm. Changes I've seen in the weather, I've noticed the falls can go a little bit longer than they used to, which actually for me is kind of a benefit because quite often we're trying to plant our winter grains in after buckwheat, which we take off end of September into October. So if the fall goes a little bit later, it's actually a plus for us. I was noticing grain storage insects are a real problem for us, and a really cold winter helps knock those pests back. And we had a series of very mild winters, and we were noticing a buildup of those pests where their numbers weren't getting knocked back. So like a normal season does not seem to happen anymore. It's either really dry or it's really wet. It seems like when we get rain, it's just like, you know, apocalyptic stuff. You know, it doesn't seem to be a lot of the rains that I used to think of as rains. You'd get your odd thunderstorm and gully washer, but it just seems like it's getting worse and worse. And both 2014 season and now the 2015 season, just 2 weeks ago, we got 5 inches of water in about an hour and a half, a little over. And both of those times I had a lot of soil loss. There was some gullies that went down to the subsoil. And when I see soil loss, the impact I see is generations ahead. And my job is to, yes, make a living, but I want to leave the soil in a better condition than I had it before to pass on to the next generation. You know, I could lose a crop. Last year we got hailed out in, I think, 15 minutes. It destroyed our whole seed oat crop. We lost about 50 grand. I didn't lose any soil, but we lost our crop. And yeah, I mean, as a farmer, you're gonna have those losses. They're part of the game. But soil loss is that I can't stand. With organic agriculture, it relies on a lot of clean tillage, meaning plowing and having bare soil to start with a weed-free seed bed so you can keep on top of everything. The other thing that in our rotation we need to do is once out of every 5 or 6 years is go through what they call a bare fallow period, where we try to control perennial weeds like quackgrass, Canadian thistle, bindweed, which requires us to leave the soil bare for a long time, several months, and till the soil over and over again. So if you get a bad rainfall event during that period, we're really vulnerable. You know, the other time we're really vulnerable is right after planting, either a small grain or corn. And in this last rain event we had, our corn was maybe 7 inches, and then 5 inches of water comes on it. It's gonna be bad. We do a lot of measures to try to mitigate soil loss. We put in a lot of contour stripping and conservation stripping. I work really closely with the NRCS. We have a lot of highly erodible land. And when you get that much water coming down that quick, even where I had 60-foot strips, which are really narrow strips, and this was not on a hugely steep piece of land, the water went right through those strips and washed out anyway. You know, I mean, the best kind of erosion control you can put in, minus maybe no-till. And I think maybe even in that you would have lost some soil, because that's just a lot of water. I mean, already this year after these rains, I'm gonna try to increase the amount of soil cover. And for my bare fallow period, I'm trying to work in more minimum tillage equipment into an organic system. You know, the other thing we do on our farm is we plant so many different crops. We always have one crop that sucks, and we have one crop that does really good. The guys that plant just corn and soybeans, they're in a tough spot. I wouldn't want to do that. That seems really risky. I mean, but there also is excellent crop insurance for it. So in terms of making the farm more sustainable going forward, because we're using a lot of tillage to control weeds, there's more passes across the field, more chances to compact the soil. More chances to work the soil wet and destroy soil structure, and we use more diesel fuel than, say, my no-till neighbor. So what we're trying to look at is how can we decrease the number of passes, use less diesel, till the soil less to keep the carbon sequestered in the soil. In terms of the farmstead itself, we purchase 100% renewable electricity through NYSEG. And the flour mill, we just signed on to put a solar panel setup that will run the flour mill completely off of solar energy. Because the longer we wait to do something, the worse climate change is going to whack us. I think it's already, we've waited way too long to do something about it.